to have you join us.
To be made to repay back.
Bringing reports you won't hear elsewhere.
Welcome to Early Business. I'm Rachel Allegro Ubani.
Hello and welcome to African News Today, coming to you live from our studio here in Lagos. I am Jumoke Adibari, and these are some of the reports we're filing now. The government of Tanzania has received 147 billion shillings loan from Standard Chartered Bank Tanzania to fund the construction of the Standard Gauge Railway project. Tanzania's Finance and Planning Minister Philip Mpago said the fund will be used to construct a 550-kilometer-long railway connecting Dodoma to Dar es Salaam via Morogoro and Matupura. The Tanzania government expects the railway to address current congestion challenges and decrease freight service charges by 40%. It will also hold up to 10,000 tons of freight, equivalent to 500 lorries per trip. Tanzania expects the SGR to connect the country to the neighboring nations of Burundi, Rwanda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, thereby playing a key role in enhancing regional trade. According to the Tanzanian government, the project has already created more than 8,000 new direct employment opportunities for Tanzanians and has opened up opportunities for the local government surrounding the project area to access social services such as shelter and food. Meanwhile, the United Nations High Commission of Refugees has said that 14 refugees have been evacuated from Libya to Sweden due to the state of insecurity and chaos following the 2011 uprising that toppled late leader Muammar Gaddafi's regime. Libya became a preferred point of departure for many illegal immigrants wanting to cross the Mediterranean Sea towards European shores. Shelters in Libya are currently overcrowded, with thousands of immigrants rescued at sea or arrested by the Libyan authorities, despite international calls to close them. As of February 6, some 1,040 refugees and migrants have been registered as rescued or intercepted at sea by the Libyan Coast Guard and have disembarked in Libya, an increase of 121% compared to the same period in 2019, the UNCHR says. And now Egypt's Health Ministry has confirmed the first case of the new virus in the North African country. However, Health Ministry spokesman Khalid Muagid said the person is a foreigner who is carrying the virus but not showing any serious symptoms. Officials were able to confirm the case through a follow-up program the government implemented for travelers arriving from countries where the virus has spread. The ministry statement said the person was hospitalized and in isolation. The statement did not specify the person's nationality or what port of entry he or she arrived at in Egypt. The viral outbreak that began in China has infected more than 64,000 people globally. The World Health Organization has named the illness COVID-19, referring to its origin late last year and the coronavirus that causes it. The Egypt case would be the first in the African continent. Experts and African leaders have expressed concern that should the virus spread there, it might wreak havoc among less developed countries with fewer health resources. Moving on, Kenya has hit back at Djibouti for contesting against its endorsement by AU to represent Africa at the United Nations Security Council. Through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kenya said it considers the matter no longer about a candidature, but about the values and the principles it has chosen to abide by. This comes after Djibouti President Ismail Omar Guelleh had earlier in the day issued a statement saying by AU endorsing Kenya's candidature, it violated the rules and procedures. The Republic of Djibouti, with the support of many fellow African countries, openly and vigorously challenged the validity of the flawed endorsement in 2019. But Kenya, in its response, said it has remained restrained, choosing to run a dignified campaign that upholds African values and which focuses on the contribution it intends to make towards creating a just and peaceful world. Kenya said it is, however, disturbed by a persistent and dishonorable campaign that Djibouti has been using to misrepresent the fact. And now at least 21 people are now dead or missing after an attack on a village that was the scene last year of Mali's worst civilian massacre in recent memory, the government said. Government statement did not say who carried out the attack on Ogogasgo, a village of Fulani herders in central Mali. Mulaye Grindo, mayor of the nearby town on Bakas, said at least 20 people had been killed. In the attack on Ogogasgo last March, suspected militiamen from a rival group killed more than 150 civilians, part of spiraling ethnic and jihadi violence in West Africa's vast Sahel region. Guendo and another local official who declined to be named said Ogogasgo had come under attack less than 24 hours after Malian troops who had been stationed near Ogogasgo left their base. On a special report today, we feature the uniqueness of Ghana. Take a look.
Ghana, which is officially known as the Republic of Ghana, is a country located along the Gulf of Guinea and the Atlantic Ocean, in the sub-region of West Africa, with its capital being Accra. Ghana has a population of about 30 million people, according to World Bank 2017. Ghana means warrior king in the Soninke language. Ghana is a natural resource-enriched country possessing industrial minerals, hydrocarbons, and precious metals, with an economic plan target known as Ghana Vision 2020. Ghanaian culture is a diverse mixture of the practices and beliefs of many different Ghanaian ethnic groups, comprising of the Akan, which is the largest ethnic group, the Mole Dagbani, the Ewe, the Gadangme, Ashanti, amongst others. Ghanaian cuisine and gastronomy is diverse and includes an assortment of soups and stews with varied seafoods, and most Ghanaian soups are prepared with vegetables, meats, poultry, or fish. Banku is a common Ghanaian starchy food made from ground corn and cornmeal-based staples. Banku and tilapia is a combo served in most Ghanaian restaurants. Fufu is the most common exported Ghanaian dish, as it is a delicacy across the African diaspora. Ghanaian music incorporates several distinct types of musical instruments such as the talking drum ensembles, Akan drum, Goje fiddle, and Koloko lute, amongst others. Ghanaian dance is as diverse as its music, and there are traditional dances and different dances for different occasions. The most known Ghanaian dances are those for celebrations. These dances include the Adoa, Balongo, Azonto, Klama, Agbaza, and Bamaya. Some of the tourist attractions of Ghana include the Aburi Botanical Gardens, which is one of the most beautiful, peaceful, and fascinating places in Ghana. Opened in March 1890, the Aburi Botanical Garden is a must-visit experience for every Ghanaian as well as visitors to Ghana. The National Museum of Ghana is another beautiful place located in Accra, the country's capital. Other tourist attractions include Makola Market, the Labadi Pleasure Beach, Cocoa Beach, amongst others.
In the more stories, reinstated Malawi Vice President Carlos Chilima as chief in the government to court over benefits. The United Transformation Movement leader was reinstated as vice president after the Constitutional Court nullified the 21 May 2019 presidential election on the basis of widespread irregularities. Chilima approached the court demanding benefits he said he was entitled to as vice president, such as vehicles, security, and a house. Reports say that Chilima believed Acting Inspector General of Police Duncan Nwapase and Chief Secretary to the government Lloyd Mohara were in contempt of court due to their reluctance to give him his benefit. His lawyer confirmed the legal action, stating that the case would be heard by the judges who heard the presidential elections case. Away from that, the Mozambican and Norwegian governments have signed in Maputo a cooperation agreement on the field of energy, which seeks to build up Mozambique's capacity for sustainable oil and gas exploitation. The agreement was signed by Mozambican Foreign Minister Veronica Nakamo and by Norway's Minister of International Development, Daginge Oestern. Witnessing the signing were President Filipe Nyusi and Norwegian Crown Prince Akon, who is on a 3-day visit to Mozambique. Before the signing ceremony, Nyusi met with the prince and they discussed the long-standing partnership between the two countries. Makamo told reporters that the meeting was fruitful in further strengthening ties of cooperation. She believed a new window has been opened in their partnership, allowing strengthening the management of Mozambique's natural resources. The agreement signed, according to her, is intended to guarantee sustainable exploitation of Mozambique's hydrocarbon resources without endangering the environment or frustrating the expectations of the Mozambican people. And now a civilian has been killed in Libya as a result of a rocket attack in the east of the capital Tripoli by militia forces loyal to warlord Khalifa Haftar. The 50-year-old civilian was reportedly killed when a rocket fell on a farm, the media office of the Bokan al-Kadab volcano of ridge operational by Libya's unrecognized government said. It was said that the civilian was exposed to a rocket attack while watering trees after affiliated militias increased rocket attacks on Tripoli earlier this week. As a result of attacks Wednesday and Thursday on civilian areas, 2 people were killed and 12 injured. The rocket that fell south of Tripoli University caused 5 injuries, and the United Nations Security Council adopted a resolution Wednesday mandating a multinational operation to oversee a lasting ceasefire in Libya. The resolution calls for an immediate ceasefire and end to the supply of arms to both sides, adherence to a weapons embargo and the withdrawal of mercenaries, and it forbids interference by any member states in the crisis in Libya. The third meeting of the El-Attar Commission on the implementation of Rwanda Memorandum of Understanding between Uganda and Rwanda in Kigali has come to an end as officials pushed for a breakthrough. However, much will be determined by what follows next after the just concluded meeting. Both parties committed to further verify the number and status of nationals detained in each other's country and to report back through a note verbal in 3 weeks' time. They also committed to protect and respect the human rights of nationals of either party in observance of the rule of law and international humanitarian law, and by ensuring due process. Furthermore, the two nations committed to finalizing the extradition treaty, which will be signed in the presence of both countries' leaders when the latter meet on February 21, and the upcoming UK Patriot meeting. The meeting that brought together ministers and officials from both countries was a follow-up on the Rwanda MOU signed by both countries in August last year, committing to resolving their poor relations. The oil industry in South Sudan has left a landscape pocked with hundreds of open waste pits, the water and soil contaminated with toxic chemicals and heavy metals, including mercury, manganese, and arsenic, according to 4 environmental reports obtained by the Associated Press. The report also contained accounts of alarming birth defects, miscarriages, and other health problems among residents of the region and soldiers who have been stationed there. Residents also described women unable to get pregnant. Reports and supporting documents were obtained from people with close knowledge of the oil operations, one of whom works in the industry. The reports have never been released publicly. And now the Ethiopian Ministry of Foreign Affairs revealed on Friday that 128 Ethiopian citizens were repatriated from Tanzania, some of whom were in detention, where illegal migrants all lived in extreme conditions. Several of them were attempting to travel to South Africa under false pretenses by human traffickers, and others were in detention centers in Ukunga, Musoma, and Kagari, Foreign Ministry spokesman Nabiyat Getachew said at the press conference. During his appearance, Getachew regretted that despite the growing economy and the government's campaigns to raise public awareness of the risks of human trafficking, thousands of Ethiopians still fall into the hands of traffickers. In addition to imprisonment and various inconveniences, he added desperate migrants often encounter deadly calamities on their way as they try to cross the precarious Red Sea routes hoping to reach the Middle East. The current Ethiopian government is working with several countries to protect the rights and dignity of citizens and has succeeded in returning about 120,000 people from more than 10 countries to their places of origin, he said. Turkey has agreed to review its free trade agreement with Morocco. The latter's trade minister Mola Afid El-Alami announced recently. Signed in 2004, the agreement aimed at giving Moroccan companies duty-free customs access to the Turkish market, and in return, Turkish goods would benefit from a gradual reduction in customs duties in the Moroccan market. The agreement covered textiles, steel, and household appliances. However, Morocco has been struggling to achieve the objective due to red tape and laws hampering the entry of Moroccan products into the Turkish market, according to reports. In 2018, Morocco recorded a trade deficit of mad 18 billion, about $1.8 billion with Turkey. The textile sector has suffered a heavy loss, with the number of job losses growing from 19,000 in 2014 to 24,000 in 2017. If you're just joining us, you're watching African News on Captain Television, reaching you live from Lagos, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria. More African stories coming your way right after this break. So stay with us.
Reaching you from Lagos,
The commercial
center of Nigeria.
Welcome back. In more stories, the Central Bank of Sudan has instructed Sudan's real estate bank to freeze 47 accounts in the name of leaders of the deposed regime of Omar al-Bashir. The CBO has attributed its directives to ban accounts of the defunct regime based on the letter of the Committee for the Removal of Empowerment, Anti-Corruption and Money Restoration in 2019. As reported this week, Sudan's Anti-Corruption Committee has dissolved the administrative board of the Central Bank of Sudan and 11 other banks, as well as dismissed 9 bank managers with alleged links to the deposed al-Bashir regime. The decision also dissolves 9 administrative boards of directors of corporations and removed a number of directors of other institutions. Sudan's Anti-Corruption Committee, the Empowerment, Elimination Anti-Corruption and Funds Recovery Committee has issued a decision to form subcommittees in all states to be chaired by the governor of each state. 2 new patrol vessels gifted by the Sri Lankan government to help in maritime surveillance have officially joined the Seychelles Coast Guard fleet. The 2 inshore patrol wave riders arrived in Seychelles last week on an Indian Navy ship in El-Attar after the government of India responded to Seychelles' request for assistance with the transfer. The vessels have been constructed to undertake surveillance, rapid intervention, and safeguarding the maritime areas, and also boost fight against maritime piracy. The Chief of Defense Forces, Clifford Roslin, said at the inaugural ceremony of the Coast Guard SUG headquarters. Officers of the Seychelles Coast Guard underwent a 3-week training course in Sri Lanka where they learned how to operate the vessels, which will be used to patrol in the island nation's waters. Seychelles, an archipelago in the Western Indian Ocean, as an exclusive economic zone of 1.4 million square kilometers, which makes it difficult for local enforcement authorities to spot illegal activities at sea. The wave rider vessels are manufactured by the Inshore Patrol Craft Construction Project of the Naval Boat Building Yard at Warsara in Sri Lanka. They are 15 meters long and can carry 10 personnel. It is powered by 2 Yaman diesel engines, which can produce a top speed of 42 knots. The government of Seychelles has paid for the construction of a 3rd boat, expected to be built by the end of February. Meanwhile, the government of Uganda has asked school to dismiss a case in which it is accused of failing to protect Ugandans from the influx of junk food. Civil society organization Health Equity and Peace Initiative AP and of Anthony Odua, a health rights activist, sued government in December last year, saying the lives of especially children were being put in danger by the government's failure to regulate, among others, labels on food products and their advertisement. Also sued together with the government is the National Children Authority, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, and Uganda Human Rights Commission. EP sought for conspicuous healthy warnings on labels of unhealthy foods and beverages in their application. According to them, research shows that graphic health warnings on food packages similar to those used on cigarette or alcohol packs can prompt people to abandon pleasure-seeking impulses and choose healthier food. But State Attorney Samuel Tutubira says the suit is premature and misconceived because the Ministry of Health and various institutions have from time to time issued circulars from highlight the knowledge and attitude of behavioral change communities in food and nutrition-related matters. He cited policies that advance proper nutrition, like the Presidential Initiative on Healthy Eating and Healthy Living on the Food and Nutrition Policy of 2003, where the goal of government is ensuring that food access by the population is nutritious, safe, and conforms to acceptable standards. Tanzania's permanent secretary at the Health Ministry, Dr. Zainabu Chaula, paid a visit to Musukula, the country's border with Uganda, and inspected a screening of epidemic diseases, including Ebola. The screening exercise was led by the ministry's health officers in collaboration with the President's Office, regional administration, and local government. The PS's move aimed at assessing if the government officers were effectively implementing the outlined preventive measures in combating the epidemic diseases from spreading into the country. However, Dr. Chaula was satisfied with the screening exercise and lauded the health officers for their commitment and hard work. The neighboring countries, Uganda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, have several times hit by the Ebola disease, which has claimed the lives of people. On 11 June 2019, the Uganda Ministry of Health confirmed the case of Ebola in Kasese District, Uganda. The current situation in the DRC, according to the World Health Organization, as of 10 February 2020, there are a total of 3,431 Ebola cases, of which 3,308 have been confirmed and 123 are probable. At least 2,253 people have died, which is 66%. For more information on the top stories, you can watch Kaftan Television News on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/kaftan.tv. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, respectively. Link us up on www.kaftan.tv. And that's it for now on African News Today. Join us on top of the hour for news around the world on our subsequent news bulletins. Many thanks for joining us. I am Jumoke Adibari.